New year, new you. 75 hard. Manifesting. Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. Today we're talking about my personal ins and outs for 2025, setting intentions, setting goals. Now I broke this down into 3 categories. Because I didn't want to just focus on fashion and personal style. I did want to also include home decor, because to me this is an extension of my personal style. It's kind of the same thing. These are just clothes for my house. And then I also wanted to include a bit of like inner work, like habits, personality things, socializing, which is ultimately like the most important part, because my personal style, my home, these are just extensions of my inner work that I do and my personality and my creativity. It's all connected, guys. All right, so these are my style ins. These are the things that I want to incorporate more in 2025. First up, I want to style more clashing patterns. And if you guys couldn't tell, we have on a pretty little number today. This is a shirt that I just recently thrifted for $6. And this is a corset thing that I made out of old placemats that I thrifted. But this is what I'm talking about when I say clashing patterns. I feel like sometimes when I go through my wardrobe, I'll just be like, all right, this and this, let's see what it looks like. And sometimes it's like a gem of a pairing, and sometimes it looks bad. You won't know unless you try. And I feel like we've been so conditioned to have like match your bag to your shoes and match your tie to your bag and whatever weird fashion rules that I don't pay attention to really. They are kind of ingrained in us to an extent. You don't need to only wear one piece that has a pattern and the rest have to be like a plain color. My next style in is, what did I write down? The European method of casual dressing. Sometimes I just like have to get the ideas out. Basically what I mean here is like when I'm not feeling like dressing up, I still want to dress nice. This is something I noticed when I recently went to Europe, and my sister also noticed it when she went to Denmark. There's like this very casual way of dressing in Europe for the most part. This is a generalization. Obviously everyone is their own unique individual. A lot of people dress pretty casually, but it's like this elevated casual. It's not American casual, which when you wear your slippers and your pajamas to the grocery store, I'm gonna judge you a little. I'm sorry. So yeah, I just think that there's a better way to do it, America. And I'm obviously not at that point of like wearing my pajamas out, but sometimes I feel like I just throw a couple things on that are comfortable and then I'm like, okay, like that's fine, whatever. And I don't stop to think like, what if I put a hat on? What if I put like a little scarf? Little changes to make it a little bit nicer, a little more elevated, a little cleaner looking. And I feel like it's those little details that end up getting overlooked when you maybe look at like a Pinterest outfit and you're like, well, it's a very simple outfit, I can recreate that. And then you're like, why don't I look like the person on Pinterest? It might be because of those little touches of accessories or those little swaps of items that you're not doing. That's a big goal for me this coming year. All right, our next styling in is mask outfits, masculine outfits. Now, I like the term mask more because I feel like we've come to associate that with any gender. And like, I might say the term menswear at some point in here, but obviously it's like for anybody. Towards the end of 2024 is really when I started to embrace more masculine aesthetics. I've always loved them, and like as a kid I was super tomboy and went through the whole phase of like rejecting femininity and all of that. I'm not like the other girls, which in retrospect is hilarious because I'm non-binary, so that's why I wasn't like the other girls. But then I went through a phase where I was like really into super feminine styles. My wardrobe still currently has so many things that I've collected during that phase. Lots of dresses, lace, just like really pretty stuff. And now I'm kind of like circling back around. I'm just really enjoying more masculine aesthetics, but with those like little touches of femininity. I want to experiment more with it. I want to continue embracing more masculine aesthetics. in 2025. Okay, I just had to change the card in my camera because I was yapping for so long. I don't know where we left off, guys. Masculine outfits. Yes. I will be wearing more of them in 2025. Moral of the story. All right, and my final style in for 2025 is accessories. Because I feel like personally, and again, these are just my own ins and outs, so this whole thing is just personal. I feel like I don't accessorize enough. Whether I'm dressing up or dressing down, I always forget to accessorize, and then I wonder why my outfit isn't hitting the way that I want it to hit. Now, something I want to make note of is that accessorizing can also mean things like your hair. Look, my hair's fine right now. I feel like it's grown out a little bit. I used to have more of a choppy layered look, and they've just kind of grown out. And now some days it's really feeling a bit blah. I've been trying to figure out what the next steps are. I've been toying with the idea. Now don't run away. Baby bangs, perhaps? It's still something that I'm mulling over. I'm still thinking about it because it's a commitment. It's a look, and I want to be sure that I'm sure. But I feel like if I had this same style, but just some little baby bangs, my hairstyle itself is like an accessory. Something more interesting is going on, even if I was just jeans and a t-shirt. I feel like changing out my bag to go with my outfit more often is something I want to do. Another thing I want to get into in terms of accessorizing is scarves. Like a little neck scarf, a little like head scarf. Now hats. I am known to rock a beret from time to time. I've been rocking a beanie out and about because it's getting colder. One thing I haven't been into in the past, and I'm like interested, I'm asking the questions, you know? A baseball cap. I personally associate it with styles that I'm not a huge fan of, and therefore I've shied away from the baseball cap, but I've seen some images recently that make me like, oh, so maybe we'll try it. And then, like I kind of mentioned before, always putting on my rings, putting on a necklace. I have a nose ring. A lot of people like don't know that I have it because it's blends in a little bit. I would love to get a vintage watch. I would love to be a watch guy. I think that would be really sexy cool of me. All right, and now we're gonna move on to our style outs of 2025. These are the things I don't want to do anymore. I don't want to do it, not into it, been there, done that. And I actually only have one thing on this list, and that is safe outfits. Now, what I mean by a safe outfit, it's like wearing the same black on black outfit because I don't want to be too bold. I don't want to like experiment with something that maybe I feel like I like, but maybe other people think is ugly. And I think I'm over it. Not to be overly dramatic, it's just clothes, but like life really is too short to be leaving all of your cool clothes and your cool style ideas in your closet. They deserve to be seen. They deserve to be worn. All right, but that just about does it for our style category. Let's move on to home decor ins. First up is mood lighting. I have been on the hunt for a lamp for this side of the apartment. This is an embarrassing fact about myself. The first like 2 years living in this apartment, I've been here like 3 years, we didn't have any lamps. We only had the big overhead lights. Once we got the lamp for the living room area, like changed my life. And now I'm currently on the hunt for another lamp to put on this side near my office and all of that. I think it would be cool to play with different colors. I love just like the classic warm yellow tone. I think like a red is cool. I know it's a little trendy. It's definitely not always the vibe, but like sometimes a little bit of like a red lighting with like the yellow lighting. All right, so the next in for home decor is music over TV ambiance noise. We all do it, guys. There's no shame in it. I have Netflix on all the time, Gilmore Girls on rotation, all right? When I'm like editing, when I'm making my thumbnails, when I'm planning videos, whatever it is, I just like to have a bit of like noise or something going on in the background instead of like sitting in silence. I think I want to start mixing in music instead. Because, I don't know, I think it would just be good for my brain to maybe listen to like some classical music while I'm editing. It's just something different for my brain to like be processing in the background. All right, the next home in is like a really important one. This is something I've kind of just discovered recently, I think. Like I've had a an epiphany moment with this one. And that is balancing maximalism with minimalism. I'm not a hater of minimalism. I think it can be done well. I think a lot of traditional Asian aesthetics do minimalism to perfection. But overall, I'm more of a maximalist. I love a pattern, I love gaudy frames, I love medieval decor, I love all of that kind of stuff. But I was recently shopping for a rug for this space specifically. I was originally going with my tried and true, like, patterned castle looking rug. And I was just like, none of these look like they would go in this space because I have this beautiful tapestry hanging up. And I'm like, do I match it? Do I get like a blue rug? Do I get the same exact type of pattern? I was having a hard time figuring out what would go well with this. I was starting to feel like a patterned rug wasn't the move. And then I watched some videos from some of my favorite TikTokers, the home decor ick guys. I actually went on their respective Pinterests and looked at their like home decor Pinterest boards, and they're really big on solid colored rugs. And I had never thought to ever get a solid colored rug. And then I was like, I think that's what this space needs. It needs something that's not the star of the show. It needs a supporting character. So that was my like, whoa. So I've been shopping around. I have one in particular that I think I'm gonna get. I'll show you guys here. But moral of the story is that like not every piece in your apartment needs to be the standout piece. Like have your selected standout pieces and then have the pieces that support those. All right, and the next home decor in is also something I kind of learned from those same home decor ick guys on TikTok. They've really helped me out, guys, just from watching their videos. I want to be open to incorporating some modern touches along with my old antique-y, medieval-y looking style. I've already started doing this with, like, for example, my monitors, my very modern day looking monitors that I use for making music. I didn't have these here for a while, specifically because I didn't like how they looked. I know. So silly of me, but I'm like kind of into how they look. Like I love how they look with my older looking desk, the tapestry, David. I kind of like how there's this like random like modern technology among all these like older looking things. And I think a really great example of this is like lamps. Like I've been looking for lamps, as I said. Lamps are expensive. I feel like a lot of the lamps that I thought I would want are like really out of my price range. Unless I got some like knockoff cheapy thing off of Temu, which I'm not gonna do. But I was like, what if I just get a lamp that's like a little more modern looking, but is really nice? Maybe a little more like mid-century modern, maybe a fun color, I don't know. It's something a little bit different, it's affordable, it's accessible. Maybe try that out. So that's currently what I'm also shopping for. All right, and the last home in for 2025 is more colors, more patterns, more textures. This might sound like it's contradicting my earlier point of like balancing maximalism with minimalism. It's not, okay? These are different things. But anyway, the reason I have this on here, my partner and I started buying furniture back in like very late 2020, 2021. We were furnishing our apartment in Connecticut and there wasn't a lot available. There was like, you know, it was a pandemic, supplies were low. We kind of just had to get what we could. At that time, I thought it would be better to go like the safe route of getting all like neutrals. And so we ended up with like a beige couch, a beige chair, beige curtains. And ever since then, I've been kind of swapping things out. We finally have a new couch. I am so excited, so comfy. It's like a dark blue. Not that beige is always bad. I'm probably gonna keep the curtains, honestly. But I might eventually swap out the chair. It's an IKEA chair. It's cute, it's fine, but I think we could do better. Oh my God, okay. My battery is dying, yay. Okay, we're back again. This time my battery died. Colors, patterns, textures, yes, yes, yes. I want it all. I want more of it. All right, but let's talk about home outs for 2025. Fun aesthetic shelves. I think a cluttered shelf can look really great, but I think when you start having like board game boxes, puzzle boxes, electronics, boxes for electronics, like things like that, filling up your shelf space and being visible, it's time to like find a drawer to put them in. I gotta sort those out. Number 2 on home outs is dead plants. And I'm saying this as I'm looking up at my poor dead plant. I mean, it's not totally dead. She's just a bit dried out. I've been neglecting them a bit. I think a lot of them need to be repotted. A lot of them need to be watered more regularly. Sorry, guys. Yeah, just being a better plant parent, because otherwise they die and they get crusty and they look ugly. And then lastly, on my home outs for 2025, ugly fridge clutter. I've been trying to figure out what to do with our fridge for a while. I feel like I don't really want to do a whole entire DIY. Like, it can look like a refrigerator. I think I just want it to look more put together, a little cleaner. I don't know. It's all over the place. Things just ended up on there. And now I want a fresh start and I want to redo it. Okay, the laptop is now out of battery. My God, can nothing just like continue functioning while I film this video? We're moving on to our final category, guys. This is the like personal, inner work, habits, etc. The self, I guess. So self-ins, being a silly, goofy, funny guy. Let me elaborate. I have really tapped in to the silliness inside. I feel like I've been joking more, I've been laughing more, I've been consuming more comedy, honestly. One of my favorite new, at least new to me, comics is Caleb Heron, along with Drew. Yeah, I feel like I've just been incorporating more humor into my personality, into my life, and it's nice. I like it. I feel like we don't think about humor as like something to practice. The next in is a twofer. This is a two-parter. It's practicing my French and meeting new people. I think I put this together because in order to practice my French, I have to meet more people that are also learning French or that know French, and also just meeting new people in general. It's not like just for language exchange. And I also want to practice my French in my own times, but there's an overlap of like these two things, so I put them in one. There's two main things that I want to do in order to like reach these goals, and one of them is to sign up for my next French class. I was taking a French course in the city and also go to more French meetups. There's a lot of like French language meetups happening around the city, and I went to one when we first moved here 3 years ago, but I just haven't been back. I've been very on and off with like my practice and got really embarrassed because at least when I went, I just like wasn't at the point where I was able to like ask people questions. I had been like learning vocabulary. I like understood when they asked me a question, but I wasn't able to like fish out my vocabulary and grammar in order to like construct a question for them. That's the whole point of like meeting people and like getting to know them, and like all of that is like also asking the questions. But I've done a lot of studying since then, and I think it's time that I return and just like jump in with the sharks, because like you're not gonna learn unless you do that. That's definitely high up there for my like 2025 goals, because I really want to go back to Paris. I want to be able to talk more, talk better. It would feel really good to go back and like just be able to have those like casual interactions with people and not have either of us resort to English. All right, the next in for the self. It's like a really important one. Honestly, maybe the most important on this whole list. And that is holding myself accountable and treating my dreams like a job. I think when you're working towards a goal like being a YouTuber, being a musician, being an artist, whatever it is, and you're working on your own time, you're making your own schedule, you're setting your own goals, all of this, it's like easy to put those things aside to like do other stuff if it arises and be like, oh, well, like I set my own schedule, I'll like do that later then. It's really easy to do that, and I'm not saying there can't be any flexibility in your schedule, but I also feel like for me personally, I want to start setting those boundaries for myself to be like, no, you're not gonna run to the grocery store in the middle of the day. Even if it's busier later on and you want to avoid the rush and blah, 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 you need to do your filming from this time to this time, because that's when the sun is out and that's when you have the most energy is earlier in the day. It'll feel better to like work first and then do chores, do fun stuff, do whatever, and like really treat it like a job. And it's hard to do because you only have yourself to hold yourself accountable. And I'm excited to see how much I can get done by sticking to this accountability thing. Okay, and lastly, we're gonna talk about the self-outs of 2025. Number one is expecting perfection all the time. Doesn't exist. I can't tell you how many times over the past few months that I've been uploading videos more consistently that I've been like, this could be better. Like, I don't really like this part, but like, it's what I got. It's what I have. Or I'm really struggling with the thumbnail and like what I come up with is like fine. I know it could be better if I had pre-planned and got some different images for it or whatever it is, but I still post it. I didn't post for the longest time because I was chasing perfectionism and it doesn't exist and it can't be done. And so I kind of just like got fed up and just stopped caring as much, but I still struggle with it a lot. Same thing with my music. I put out a couple songs recently and I have a couple more coming out in 2025. And there's definitely things that I would change about them. That's just how art is. You will never be satisfied with it. And I think once you just kind of embrace that, it's a lot easier to be consistent with creating. I don't listen to my songs once I put them out. I don't watch my videos. I don't look at anything after I create it. The next out is not stretching. I could have put this on an in as like stretch more, but I didn't do that. So here we are. Not stretching is out, stretching is in. This literally takes like 5 minutes. I could take 5 minutes every night and stretch, but I don't. Why? I guess I don't want to be able to pick things up off the floor in 20 years. I used to be like pretty flexible. I did gymnastics, ballet, martial arts. Past 10 years, the stretching has declined and I've also gotten older. So it's like an uphill battle. I'm still like moderately flexible, but like I think stretching and flexibility is like such an important thing as we age, and I want to lock in that habit now. And last but not least, what's out for 2025? Dehydration. And as I say that, I haven't had any water today. No, here, look. It's 2:30 p.m. This was like not even all the way full. Didn't even finish it. Some people can't be helped, guys. I am some people. I'm gonna fill this up again and drink the whole thing. Yeah, dehydration is out. I'm done. I've tried it. Didn't really like it. If it's worked for you, let me know. I'm intrigued. And that is the completed list of my ins and outs for 2025. I think my overall motto of the year is gonna be a retake on the whole fake it till you make it phrase, because I don't want to fake anything. I've outgrown that. But something more akin to like embrace it till you make it. We're workshopping it, guys. Let me know if you have any suggestions. All right, guys, that's gonna be it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked this content, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, subscribe, comment down below. I want to know what you guys are leaving behind in 2024, what you're taking with you and embracing in 2025. And you know, if you just like can't get enough of me, you can also follow me on Instagram, TikTok, Spotify. I have new music coming out in early 2025. I will see you all in the next one. Bye! Happy New Year!